What is up, roomies? My name is Matthew Makak, and if this is your first time on the channel, welcome on into Room 51. This is a board game brief where I briefly go over some sort of board game or expansion, and then I give my thoughts briefly on the game. So, before we get into things, please go ahead and like and subscribe if the mood suits you. And without further ado, let's get on into it. I'm doing a board game brief on Conquest Princess, Fashion is Power. Yes, so this is by Seppi Yoon, designed by Seppi Yoon, published by Fight in a Box Games. I will say right off the bat, this is a prototype version that was given to me to do a review. So it's a review copy. I will say that all the components that you're seeing, they are pretty close to being done. For the most part, the components that you're seeing are what you're going to get, but again, keep in mind there will be some changes because it's a prototype. But anyway, what is this game? It is a 1-to-4 cooperative bag building game. And you are these, well, actually, let me read it right here. You are agents of the Temporal Intergalactic Armed Response Agency, also known as Tiara, which I love. I just think that is hilarious. And so you are going through missions in this game. There's the tutorial mission, there's a standard mission, advanced, there's bosses, and I'm sure there's going to be more missions that come on out, but this is what was given to me so far. And it does follow some sort of story. I wouldn't say that this is a campaign game or anything like that, but it does benefit you to play them through. That way you can kind of digest all of what is going on, because it could be overwhelming, especially the board space and everything. But that tutorial mission does very good in showing you how the game is played. Now, in the game, you really only have about 4 actions usually, and you have 3 choices with each of those 4 actions. So you're either moving, shooting, or engaging. And engaging means like kind of usually utilizing the room that you're in to use its special ability that the room provides. And then you are trying to accomplish whatever the objective is of that mission. And you are working together to do such things. And like I said, it's a bag building game, so as you're going around, you're going to be trying to put things into the bag that you want to pick out, and then you are trying to get things out of the bag that's not so good, but they're going to be placed in there. But ultimately, fashion is power, and pretty much in every mission, you all lose if you've lost all of the fashion, because you've lost all your power then at that point. Now, what do I think of this game? I think that this is probably the first video, I think this is the first video where I'm going to say I absolutely love this game. This is such a good one. Everybody is playing as either a female or non-binary character, which is not typical in board gaming, and the cast of characters is just fairly diverse. Again, not too typical in board games. So that, in and of itself, I love. Now, if you know me, you know I dig cooperative games. I absolutely adore them. And this one is no exception to that. So what is different about this one is it really feels like you are, because sometimes co-ops can feel like you're kind of just doing your own thing, but you're sort of working together. This one is super intertwined. You are, like, if you're in the same room as somebody, because everybody has their own special ability, so there is that asymmetry, but if you're in the same room with somebody else, you can actually use that other person's special ability. That is awesome. Another thing is, as you are taking things out of the bag, like I said, bad things sometimes happen. You don't want those chips. You'll load them onto your own dock, and other people then, that helps with the entire team then. Like, yes, that wasn't great for your turn, but now that's out of the bag. That means that it is more likely for other teammates to get better chips out of the bag, and that's great. But I also love that it intertwines some mental health stuff into this game, which is really fabulous, and it does so seamlessly, where it's really in the rule book. So if you read the rule book, you'll get that. But as you're holding on to those like not so great things, it's like, okay, I'm taking on this burden right now, but at some point I need to let it go. Right? And it'll go back into the bag, and you can have your friends help out as well. It doesn't always have to be you, which is so important. I feel like we forget that so many times, that like you are important. And actually, I want to say that I was sent this little like letter and sheet, which I don't get very often. This like usually never happens when I get like review copies for things, but it was a very nice list of things and sort of like a letter. Now, it wasn't directed just towards me. It was for whomever got this. But it does say at the very end, thanks again for helping indie publishers and diverse voices. What you do matters. And I thought that was super sweet. And I wanted to say that Seppi, what you do, and Fight in a Box, and all of you who are watching this video and just getting into like just even seeing like, do you want this game? Is it something interesting to you? All of that, what you do matters, okay? It's super important. And that leads me to my next thing. They are going to have, their next campaign is going to open for this game in February 6th, 2024. So on February 6th, 2024, they are going to have a mini expansion called Night of the Necropede, which is going to add a whole other thing of missions and stuff, which is going to be great. So I'm really excited for that. And this is also in an effort to unlock some stretch goals that didn't get to already have been unlocked for the original Kickstarter. And really a lot of that, and this game has gotten a lot of really great reviews from those who have played it. So the reason it didn't reach its funding, or it did reach its funding, but it just barely reached it there. And we didn't quite get all the stretch goals that would have been a lot of fun. And this next Kickstarter can help out with that. But the reason they didn't get it was because of some hatred that was going on towards the game. Not because of the game itself. The gameplay is fantastic, but because of the theming and the diversity in this game, which is so hurtful for board gaming as a whole. And I mean, I'm sure the designers and publishers, I mean, it's so harmful. And even as a player and someone who is part of the LGBTQ plus community, I felt pretty hurt by that as well. And so let's make things right. Let's go ahead and, back the Night of the Necropede mini expansion. It'll come along with the original game as well. So go ahead and do that if you have the means. Please go ahead. This game, like I said before, I've said it in another video, this game is really important for this hobby, and I want nothing but success for this game. Anyway, those were my thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave down below your comments, what you think of this game. Have you backed it yet? Have you gotten a chance to play it at a convention or anything yet? What are some of your thoughts? And I will catch you all next time.